What is up, my Toasty Cytos Gaming here, and welcome back to a brand new video where we reply to videos like I normally do. And you know what? I'm not gonna have any delays. Let's just go ahead and get right into the video.
Hey everyone, Retro Glacius here, and today I'm doing a video on consoles, why consoles are better than PC in terms of social gameplay and in terms of socializing with others and in terms of the overall experience. Number one, the reason why consoles are better is not because they're fanboys, although a lot of fanboys exist between Xbox and between PlayStation. You know, Xbox here, between Xbox and PlayStation. The reason why is because cheating is very, very prevalent in PC, not in console, I'm sorry, in all types of games. It's prevalent in consoles, it's prevalent in mobile gaming, but it's most prevalent in PC gaming.
From my experience of 6 years on playing on PC, I haven't run into that many hackers. The only hackers I have run into are games that are older, which developers have stopped supporting, or games that were just never supported by the developers in general. Like Call of Duty 4 is a prime example of this. If you jump into a game now, there's a good chance you're going to find a hacker. Now, on the bright side of this, though, and this is something that PCs have and consoles I don't think have, as far as I'm aware. I'm sure there are some games that have it, but PC is just way more prevalent. They have custom owned or privately owned, well, whatever you want to call it, servers. People own, like just regular people own servers, and some of them will be on 24/7 looking out for hackers. And if they see a hacker, they ban them from that server. Now, if you find something like that, this is really good. I mean, you can just stay on that server for the rest of your life if you want to, or you can go find another one which can have the same thing. This is the thing that PCs have a bonus of instead of consoles. Consoles, normally there's not private servers like that. If a developer stops supporting a game that you want to play multiplayer on, you're pretty much screwed unless you have a bunch of friends that want to play and want to play the same way. And then you're not going to find hackers because, or you could still find hackers, but it's really unlikely.
PC gaming is known for people who like overclock and do things to their internet and steal internet and do all sorts of stuff because you can pretty much modify the game to your liking,
Another benefit of having a PC.
and there's no consequence. Like, the developers and publishers really don't. They're trying to pin down who's doing it and why they're doing it.
And why they're no, they don't. Developers don't care why they're doing it. The developers, what they do is they'll sit here and they try to figure out how to stop this and prevent it from the future, and ban that person and stuff like that. Unless they're just not great as they're not supporting the game or whatever, then that happens. But they're not hitting here trying to play detective like, oh well, I wonder why this man's a hacker. Maybe he had a rough childhood. They're not doing that.
But really, in reality, there's no reason to really go to PC besides the graphics.
Actually, there's a lot of benefits going to PC. Not only do you have the mouse support, mouse and keyboard support, which are I mean, not support, but their main use of that. You get the accuracy of that, and you get the graphics, of course, like you said. You get the customization of it. You get the ability to use it not only to game, but to use it for other things like work, school, research, whatever. I can't open a Word document on my Xbox One, but I could do it on a PC pretty well. I would assume all PCs can open a Word document without having any issue. I mean, I'm sure literally you can go out there and buy a $50 laptop and it would run Microsoft Word just fine, or Google Docs or whatever. But guess what? You go buy this $300 or how much ever it is Xbox One that can't run a Word document and it can only game. That's it. That's its entire intent. And it doesn't do it as well as a PC would. I mean, that $50 PC is not going to be the same, or it's not even going to be close to a console, but you would still have the benefits of having that instead of a console.
I mean, you get 1080p, 60 or 30 frames per second.
30 frames per second is low. Most PCs, and this is going to be a statistic just I'm pulling out of nowhere. Legit, don't quote me on this unless I'm right, and you can quote me all you want. I'm going to say 90% of PCs can play at 60 frames per second, at about 1080p. It might not be 1080p, it might be like 720 by something, but it still can run that at about 60. Is what I'm making a guess, like I said. But that is low for a PC. 30 frames per second is most low-end PCs. And you're talking about a console that costs more than some of the low-end PCs. That's why PC is considered the better platform than a console.
rock solid most vast majority of the time. And I play Call of Duty Black Ops 3. It's a great game, wonderful experience. Witcher 2 was great. Witcher 3 should be even better.
Black Ops 3, it's alright, in my opinion, but it's alright a game. Witcher 2, it's a pretty good game, and I've heard Witcher 3 is pretty good. Haven't played it yet. Eventually I'll get around to it. Maybe I'll make a playthrough on it. Who knows?
For PC, I haven't really tried it yet, but I'm going to. Sorry if my dog and my mom are talking. PC is not a place for socialization.
Have you ever touched a PC? You do realize it comes with a keyboard, right? Which makes it easier to type and send messages to people, easier to talk to the enemy team if you want to, and way easier to do other things. You don't have to just use voice communication. You can use anything from, typing, like I said, to sending the direct message like you can on the Xbox. Actually, that's the only way you can text type is through direct message. Or you can talk to them like a normal person. It's up to you. It's your decision.
It's one of the poorest places that I've ever seen, and not only from a subjective perspective, my own perspective, but in terms of how awkward it is to socialize with people on PC. And people talk about how PC is growing, but I've looked at Titanfall 2 and I looked at Battlefield 4, and these are first-person shooters, and you would think there might be a good 10, 20,000, 30,000, 40,000 players online each day, whatnot.
And this is the part where it starts getting hard to believe you. So, I just picked these numbers up literally at 9:31 Eastern Time. This is the current player amount on PC. This is 5 months after Battlefield 1 has been released. 5 months. That's a long time for a sequel game to still have 17,000 peak time. That's a lot. Compared to the Xbox One, PS4, the consoles, if anything, are dying off faster than the PC on Battlefield 4 alone. And I mean, that's just Battlefield 4. So, what does that say about other games like you said, Titanfall 2? I don't know. I couldn't find records of when the player count was for February 10th when this video was uploaded. So I have no clue what the numbers are, and he's not going to say them. I'm pretty sure. So we're here pretty much guessing what his numbers were because I don't think he's telling the truth at all about his numbers.
And what I came to find out was there's way less players than that. And I know the master race, oh, you're going to have your, Gabe Newell, way of thinking. But
I don't think anyone knows what you're talking about at all, and I don't know what you're talking about. And I'm apparently one of those PC master races that you people take as actually you people take it seriously as we normally take it as a joke. And that's kind of the entire point of it. But saying that, I don't understand what you mean by the Gabe Newell way of thinking, and you don't ever seem to mention this back up, and it's kind of weird.
reality is PC is still out of reach for a lot of people. A lot of other YouTubers have said the same thing, and I do agree. I think consoles are much, much better. And from my own personal experience, I'm a PlayStation fan. I got through playing Elder Scrolls 5
I think anyone watching this video or watching your video knows you're a PS4 fanboy.
Skyrim on my PS4, my original PS4. I still have a PS4 Pro. You can see it in the background there. There's a box of the PS4 Pro, and it's a great experience. I love it. I still love my PlayStation 4. I still play my basic Xbox One and PlayStation 4, even though it has less. It's not as capable as the PlayStation 4 Pro, and I do prefer higher teraflops, better graphics all the time.
It's very obvious that you don't know what you're talking about when you mention teraflops, because I'm a PC gamer. Like I've said, I've been gaming on PC for about 6 years, I think it is. I think 2011, I think somewhere around there. And I don't know what teraflops is. I had to Google teraflops just to know what the definition of it was, because no one uses teraflops. And Rags mentions this too on his video. There's like nothing to do with teraflops really. I mean, they might play a role, but I really doubt it. I mean, you're making it seem like teraflops are like, I almost want to say RAM, but RAM's not even super important. It's just, I mean, it's more important than teraflops, but still. I mean, you really don't know what you're talking about. And if you don't know what you're talking about, admit it. That's literally what I just did. I just admitted that I don't know what teraflops are, and that's fine. Research before you speak if you're talking about something like this, because you're misinforming people.
I'm a graphics whore in that sense, in that I enjoy graphics. I really do enjoy graphics. I really think that it really brings something to the experience.
If you're a graphics whore, you should know that PC is better. Also, going back to the teraflops thing real quick, I literally just did a Google search to see how many teraflops are in a PS4. It's about 4.2, and you can buy a PC 500 bucks, under 500 bucks. Also, the source is in the description like normal. Um, 500 bucks for 11 teraflops. So if you're going off teraflops, that's a big improvement over there, and they're about the same price. Under 500 bucks compared to 400 bucks for the PS Pro. I'd rather go and you get less teraflops with it. If teraflops are such an importance to you, then obviously the PC is a better choice.
But other than that, the socialness is not that. And I'm not saying that if you make friends on PlayStation's console or Xbox's console or any other console, Nintendo, that they're not going to be antisocial because there's a lot of antisocial people out there who are to themselves.
Antisocial people are not the problem here. The problem is the toxic people in the community. I'm not going to sit here and say, oh, well, PC or consoles are more toxic. I'm not going to say this because in my experience, I don't think either of the communities are toxic. I think both of them are equally at toxic levels, and I don't think there's one that's just, I'm like, oh yeah, I wish I owned a PC, where the toxicity in the community is nowhere near as bad as this, because it doesn't happen. I think everywhere you go, no matter what, even if there was a complete non-toxic place to play, I still think there'd be toxic people. And that sounds crazy, but I think that's just toxic people live in the world, okay? Those are not, but antisocial people are not the people that you're going to sit here and be like, oh, well, I wish I just hate antisocial people. You don't care. Okay, and I mean, and if they are antisocial, in my opinion, I would like to play on the PC, and I'm an antisocial person. Sometimes I'm not, and sometimes I am. It just depends. But I still feel like on a PC you can type, and that definitely helps out with antisocialness, whatever you want to call it. It helps out because you're just typing. You're not using your voice. You're not doing these things. So let's say you don't have a mic, or you just don't have a good mic, and you don't want to, annoy your teammates with your mic, and that's just a way to solve it. You can just type, and that's a million times easier than going to the profile and typing in a message with a thumbstick, which takes 10 years to send a message. It's really dumb.
They're not really interested in socializing with players or making new friends or even trying to learn techniques and stuff on how to be a better player.
Saying an antisocial person doesn't want to be better at the game is really dumb for a massive bunch of reasons, but you obviously don't know what you're talking about most of these times, so I have to say, just as coming from an antisocial person myself, I don't like talking to people. It's not my thing. I'm sure a lot of people do, but that's not my thing. Coming from me, when I play Counter Strike or I play Siege or I play whatever, I want to learn everything I can about this game and become a better player because of it. Now, if it requires me to talk to my teammates and I don't want to, I'm not going to. I'm not going to change my ways just so I can talk to my teammates and maybe learn something new. Okay, I could probably learn it from watching a YouTube video, or heck, I could send them a message asking, "Hey, what are you doing here? Give me your process down." And if they use microphones, so they want to send me a message, they can do that, and that's just a thing that's going to happen, and I can do. But saying antisocial people don't want to be better at the game is retarded, and really, you have no clue what you're talking about when you say that.
They're there for casual and sometimes even hardcore gaming in terms of the experience. They're not there for the social experience. They're very introverted. They're very to themselves. And I kind of feel that way sometimes. I'm on the fence with that. I'm a balanced player. I socialize when I need to socialize. I don't socialize when I don't want to social or don't need to socialize. It's a give or take. Me personally, PC is better graphics, higher teraflops, higher.
Flops. You you just mentioned teraflops, and you're sitting here mentioning flops as if it's something different. Okay, let me explain to you something here. When you're going to talk about a topic like I'm doing right now, like I'm talking about how I think the PC is superior to any console on the market, at least right now, and I really doubt that they're ever going to catch up to PCs. Right now, you do research on a topic. If you don't understand something, you Google it. If you don't if you don't know anything about what you're saying, then sometimes it's better just to leave it at what it is. Like, you don't have any clue what you're talking about. The dislikes on this video prove it. Everyone that's watched this video, except maybe like 5 people that liked it, obviously know that you have zero clue to what you're talking about, And it really shows. Anyone that has somewhat common sense or just any knowledge of what you're speaking about knows you're wrong in a long shot.
Performance, more for your money in terms of performance, but less player base because most PCs are very expensive. Like you see this PC I have right here. I buy power. It's right here. I'm tapping on it right here. It's about like $1,000, and it came out to $1,300. Not bad. I could have easily got a GTX 1070 if I thought about it.
What you bought is a high-end PC to where you really didn't even need to spend that money on a PC, but you decided as a person to buy that PC because you want the better experience, and that's perfectly fine. If you have enough money to spend on that, then that's great. I'm glad you could buy a high-end PC and say that most people can't afford a PC, but people that can't afford a PC can't afford a console, especially if they're paying online services as well on top of their internet fee. That's insane. You're paying twice the price of what you shouldn't pay. It's your internet, you're already paying for it, and yet you're paying for it twice because Xbox and Sony, or Microsoft and Sony, want as much money from you as they can. Because, I don't know, they're greedy, I guess. I don't know.
And I could have easily asked them to say, hey, is there a graphic, if there's a PC with a GTX 1070 and no SSD, I could have easily got a better graphics card. My games would have run rock solid smooth, no frame rate issues. There's a couple frame rate. I mean, you have a few issues, but
So wait, your PC is having frame rate issues? If your PC is having frame rate issues, then you should lower the graphics. Just tip of advice. Because, so I'm gonna explain how do you do it, because I'm assuming you don't know how to do it because you don't know what you're talking about and you don't really know. It seems like you don't know anything, to be honest, but so you're gonna go into the options and you're gonna go to graphics or video and lower the graphics from there. And that should help your frame rate out a lot, depending on where you put the graphics at.
most of the time it's a rock solid 30 FPS. It's really good. I really enjoy it. And consoles are getting better too. I mean, there's nothing wrong with the first PlayStation 4. Some games do 60, some games do 30. And with updates and stuff, it does tend to get better and better and better. And they're working on it. They should have at least included VRAM in the original PlayStation 4, at least 2 or 3 gigabytes of it.
Well, on a PC, if you want to upgrade your VRAM or put more VRAM or whatever you want to put in there, you guess what? You just upgrade it. That's all it takes. On console, you don't have that option. And this is the biggest issue with console because in order to upgrade your console, you have to put it you have to wait for the next one to come out. And when the next one comes out, you have to hope that they upgrade what you wanted. And if they don't, well, sucks for you, I guess. Figure it out.
So you got a total of 11 gigabytes, and it should have interwovenly interlaced. So when you're playing games, you get a solid 30, 60 FPS. And PS4 should have been PS4 Pro should have been the first PlayStation. I said that in my other video when I was talking about my gaming collection over here. See sorry, my gaming, my gaming collection right there. My stack of games. I'm going to get another shelf because my games are starting to get really piled up. So I thought I'd share that with you guys. Another reason why PC gaming is not that good is because you have to upgrade, and it actually costs. I'm trying to think. People say it costs more to buy a console. Yeah, consoles can get pretty expensive, but it actually costs more for a gaming PC because you have to update them. And once your chips are not once you get to a point where you can't even give your PC to a friend for $300 because they want the latest PC. So whereas a console, people want it because it's portable. And I'm not saying no, PCs are portable. I mean, you could take them anywhere with you, but a console is way more portable.
You just went back on what you just said. You literally said, oh, well, PCs just aren't portable. And then you went back on what you just said to say, oh, well, PCs are portable, but they're not as portable as a console. Well, they are. I mean, depending on what PC you can get a laptop, which is way more portable than a console. And really, with a laptop, you don't even need to carry any charging wires really with you. Um, you don't need an HDMI. You don't need a TV to use it. I mean, you can bring your charging cord if you need it, which you probably will, to be honest. But that's up to you if you want to bring it or not. You can do that. Or you can bring your desktop with you, which is the same as the Xbox One. But on the bright side, you're only carrying a monitor around if you want to, or you can carry around, or not carry around, but you can go to whatever hotel you're staying at and just use the TV on there because most PCs have an HDMI cord in there. And normally you can use them. I mean, especially with the Alienware Alpha, how small it is compared to a console. I'd much rather carry around my Alpha, my PC, than my console that sits here and is legit like a VHS tape. At least saying the Xbox One is. And I know the PS4 isn't much better. It's pretty big too. So, I mean, portability is not really a strong suit for a console. I think PC still got to be with its laptops. I mean, you can game anywhere you want. You can game on a plane with a laptop. Like,
A console you can take with you on the road. In your car, you have a small TV and you have a plug-in to your van. You can't do that. You could barely do that with PC, and it takes too much electricity and so much wattage that you can't really. If it was a really small one, you might be able to. But yeah, that's another downside to PC. The portability's not there.
what you just said, plugging it into a van depends on all what kind of van you get or what kind of car you get. Uh, Depends. I mean, you can get a van that can't run an Xbox One because it takes too much power, just like the PC. But you get a laptop, you don't even, it doesn't even matter. You don't even need to own a van. You can own a car and have a laptop and use it. I mean, really, like, you just think PCs are desktops and they're not. They're laptops which are portable. They're desktops which are not as portable and they have more power in them. But some of them are portable, like the Alpha, like I said before. The Alpha, in my opinion, is the more portable option out of the consoles, and I would even say sometimes it's more portable than a laptop. It just doesn't have the same usage of it. I mean, the laptop has a monitor with it and all of that with it, and you don't need to bring anything besides the charging cord at the laptop, and that just makes it way more portable than both the Alpha and the console.
And Master Race is going to argue about that. To me, it's not an argument. Sorry, unless it's a laptop.
Oh, look at that. He's actually somewhat getting smarter. Huh.
And why would you buy a laptop if the price performance, as others have said before, it's inversed? So that's a waste of money. So that's where consoles win.
A waste of money, in quotation marks, is what I'm going to use. Um, a waste of money, really. Depends on who you are. If let's say I'm someone who travels around a lot, then no, a laptop might be a pretty good choice. Not only do I get the benefits of having a computer on the go, I also can game on it. It might not be the best gaming experience of all time, but it's better than not gaming at all. In a console, you can't use that. You can't go on the go and use a console. It's too big and it's too bulky, and you have to hold all these wires, and you have to bring a controller. And if you have a wireless controller, you're using batteries, and I mean, don't get me wrong, batteries are easy to come by, but on a PC, you're not using that as much, and that's the thing. So you're right. Maybe for a person who just stays at home a lot, maybe it's not that big of a deal. But someone who travels a lot, that's a big deal there. I mean, that's you're getting more bang for your buck. And that, I mean, you're not gonna sit here and say, oh, well, a desktop's giving me so much more if I don't barely get to use it. Or you're not saying a console's doing the same thing because both of them are more let's stay at home and let's play on there. I mean, they're more sit down and play. They're not on the go play.
So I think there will be one or two last generations of consoles, and after that, it'll be indistinguishable from PC. Everything will be PC optimized. You'll have at least a minimum of 10 to 15 teraflops.
You have very high hopes, and let me explain why. You're hoping that a console, something that's this has never been done before, as far as I'm aware. You're hoping that a console, an Xbox One and a PS4, is already outdated. You're hoping that they catch up to a PC, something that's already two steps ahead of them and is getting better every year because it's just normally how PCs have been working, and they get cheaper every year because the better parts get cheaper and the newer parts become more expensive, and they're normally better than what the older parts are. And yeah, you could upgrade to them, but you don't need to. But you're hoping that those parts, these things that keep getting better, you're hoping that a console catches up to them in two generations. That right there is some high hoping, and you know what? I hope it works out for you, but it's probably all statistics that I'm thinking of, at least, like mentally statistics I'm thinking, none of them point to the sign of that being true.
1080p 60, 1440p 60, 4K 60, better cinematics, more integrated cinematics into the gameplay physics. Everything's integrating within actual in-game engine versus CGI and whatnot. It'll be a lot better. So that's another downside. Another downside is games. As games become more graphically intensive, you're gonna have to upgrade your memory. You're gonna have to. You're basically gonna have to get a brand new PC in 3.5, 4 years.
Oh, so like how you had to upgrade to a PS4 Pro because you wanted better graphics? That's legit the same thing.
And sometimes it's a good investment if you have the top of the line graphics card. So that means that by the like 3 years from now, Titan X will be in every PC, and then they'll have something that's 5 or 17 times more, 5 to 17 or 20 times more powerful than a Titan X. And then when they amp up the graphics, they have frame rate issues, and it's the same stuff. So they really don't know how to properly optimize the code for maybe it's broken. A lot of games there's broken PC ports, and they shouldn't be broken because it was made on PC, so it should never have been broken. So that's my thought about it. Leave your comments on why you think gaming either console or PC is better. Thought I'd share my point of view on it. Thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Retroglacius out.
I didn't enjoy this video. If anything, I'm more pissed off at this video than anything because you have zero clue to what you're talking about and you're making it seem like you knew what you're talking about the entire time. Oh, okay. Um, I don't even know what to say what he said because I'm done with this video. So if you guys enjoyed this video, I don't know, leave a like, I guess. I don't know. I'm gonna go have some alcohol or something. I'm becoming alcoholic again. I'm having non-flashbacks from how shitty this video is. I think I've done more playing videos. I mean, they're too hardcore for me, to be honest. I can't deal with the stress of them. If you guys did enjoy the video though, do what you want. You can like, whatever, share it, whatever you guys want to do. Really, that's just up to you. But if you guys, hopefully you guys did enjoy the video. And as always, guys, stay soggy, my toesies.